There was once a man who had been smoking almost every single day for more than 20 years. He had tried to quit more times than he could count. Nicotine gum, patches, medication, therapy, breathing exercises, even a strange hypnosis session that promised to remove the desire completely. Nothing lasted. Every few months he would stand in front of the mirror and make the same promise. This is the last cigarette, and every few months he would fail again. At first he believed the problem was nicotine, then he blamed stress. Later he started believing something much darker. Maybe he was simply weak. Maybe some people were not built to change. That thought damaged him more than the smoking itself, because every failed attempt made him feel smaller, more ashamed, more trapped. Smoking was no longer just a bad habit. It had become evidence that he was not in control of his own mind. Then something unexpected happened. His company sent him to Japan for a short business project. He expected crowded trains, meetings, hotel rooms, and paperwork. He did not expect the trip to alter his life. One quiet weekend, while visiting a mountain temple outside Kyoto, he met an elderly monk. The monk moved with a calmness that felt almost unnatural. No hurry, no tension, no invisible storm behind the eyes. The man found himself speaking more honestly than he had in years. He told the monk everything, about the smoking, about the failed attempts, about the frustration, about the anger he felt toward himself every time he gave in. He expected advice. A breathing technique perhaps, a meditation routine, another discipline strategy. Instead, the monk smiled and said something strange. "You are losing because you keep trying to win a war against yourself." The man frowned. The monk continued, "Every time you fight a habit with force, you make the habit more important. You feed it with fear, frustration, and obsession." This sounded ridiculous. For years, he had believed the opposite. He thought he needed more discipline, more control, more punishment, more willpower. But the monk gently shook his head. "No," he said, "you do not remove a shadow by punching the ground." That sentence stayed in the man's mind. For the next several days, the monk taught him a method that felt almost too simple to matter, too passive, too gentle, too ordinary. And yet, within 3 months, after 20 years of addiction, the man stopped smoking completely. Not because he suddenly became stronger, but because he stopped using strength in the wrong direction. What if most people are trying to break their habits in a way that almost guarantees failure? What if the harder you crush an urge, the deeper you drive its roots into your mind? This sounds backwards. But both modern psychology and ancient Japanese wisdom point to the same truth. Resistance alone often strengthens the thing you resist. Think about it. The person desperately trying not to check social media thinks about the phone every few minutes. The person swearing never to eat sugar becomes obsessed with dessert. The person forcing themselves not to drink cannot stop imagining alcohol. Why? Because the human mind does not respond well to inner warfare. The moment something becomes forbidden, attention locks onto it. The habit becomes the center of your mental universe. You wake up thinking about defeating it. You spend the day measuring your struggle against it. And by night, you are mentally exhausted. Eventually, exhaustion wins. And when you relapse, shame becomes even heavier. Now you are not just someone with a habit, you are someone who failed again. This cycle destroys millions of people, not because they lack desire, but because they are using a violent method against a deeply human pattern. The Japanese approach begins with a very different question. Not, how do I destroy this habit? But, why did this habit become necessary in the first place? Because every habit, even the destructive ones, was once a form of protection. A cigarette was once relief. Mindless scrolling was once escape. Overeating was once comfort. Alcohol was once silence from mental noise. Habits do not appear randomly. They arrive as helpers. The tragedy is that helpers slowly become prisons. And if you only attack the prison without understanding why you built it, you remain trapped inside it. There is an old Zen story about a young monk who struggled with anger. Small inconveniences irritated him constantly. A dropped bowl, a late student, a careless mistake. At first, he tried suppressing the anger. He tightened his jaw, repeated calming mantras, forced himself to smile. But inside, the anger only became hotter. Eventually, it would explode, and every explosion filled him with guilt. So he tried harder, longer meditation, more fasting, more self-punishment. Yet the anger kept returning stronger. Finally, an older monk told him, "Stop trying to kill the anger. Sit beside it." The young monk was confused, but he obeyed. The next time anger rose, he did not resist. He did not justify it either. He simply watched. He noticed the heat in his chest, the pressure in his temples, the tension in his jaw. He noticed the thoughts forming in his mind. This should not be happening. People should know better. I am losing control. For the first time, he was not inside the anger. He was observing it. And something remarkable happened. The anger rose, it peaked, then it weakened, then it passed, like weather. That realization sits at the center of the Japanese method. A craving is not a command, it is a passing signal. Most people obey it immediately or fight it desperately. Both reactions give it power, but there is a third response. Observe it, feel it, wait. Temporary feelings do not deserve permanent surrender. The Japanese also understand something Western culture constantly forgets. Human beings do not change well through violent transformation. This is why they practice Kaizen, continuous small improvement. 1 less cigarette, 5 minutes less scrolling, 1 calmer reaction, 1 delayed purchase. Slowly, repetition becomes identity, and identity becomes destiny. Bad habits fade when a healthier ritual begins to take their place. So the lesson is simple. You do not defeat your darkest habits by declaring war on yourself. War only creates more wounds. Real change begins the moment you stop seeing yourself as the enemy. The craving is not your master. The weakness is not your identity. The failure is not your future. These are only passing storms. And storms, no matter how violent, were never meant to stay forever. When you learn to stand still, observe, and patiently build a better path, the old chains begin to fall away on their own. Not because you forced them to break, but because you finally became bigger than the prison that once held you.